Would I recommend college to my old self? This is such a personal, situational decision for people, but somebody who's in a similar situation as I was a couple years ago, this is probably what I would tell my old self. If I wasn't doing ROTC with a scholarship, then I probably wouldn't have gone to college straight up. I either would have enlisted straight into the military, or even if I didn't do that, I would still have a plan and not go completely AWOL right after. I would have some kind of strategy for managing my money, being able to pay rent. I would probably still move out. I would probably still move out of my parents' house once I had enough stability to pay for rent, at least for a year or two. I would figure out what my dream job was. If I could get paid doing anything in the world and finances weren't a question, what kind of stuff would I do? And I would identify that. And then I would highly recommend to my old self that you get a job so you can still make money and support your basic needs, which allow you to continue to pursue whatever that might be for you. My perspective of college and getting to know a lot of friends that were in very technical majors, all kinds of different majors from across the wide spectrum that you can study at the University of Utah. My conclusion is, if you're going to have a really hard time learning it on your own, and you're going to have a hard time finding the knowledge and the best teachers all by yourself on the internet and whatnot, then it makes sense to go to a university. Okay? An example, math, calculus, computer science, those are very, very difficult things to learn on your own to the extent that a college will teach you. Yes, you can learn it on your own, but if you really want to expedite the process it takes to become proficient in those majors, then following a degree plan that allows you to complete a degree, find internships, get to know professors, people, break into the industry, then it makes sense to do that in college, right? But then let's take another example, photography. Becoming proficient in photography is really about experience. It's about traveling. It's about taking pictures of things that interest you, different things, having a profile, posting it online, and having a community of people that you can pitch and catch with, right? You don't need to necessarily sit in a classroom to learn about the fundamentals of photography or even mastering photography. Business, I'm sorry, but I have not been impressed with anybody who has a business degree. People that are the most successful in business didn't go to college, or they will be the first person to tell you that they didn't even apply their degree in a way that helped them become successful in business, all right? This again is what I would tell my old self. This has nothing to do with direct advice to anybody who disagrees with me. That's totally fine. You can easily find friends in communities that you associate with. If you like paintball, you can make friends going paintballing at the gun range. Playing video games, there's tons of forum pages on people looking for friends to game with. So it's just a matter of putting effort into making friends that you associate with. You don't have to just think that you make friends by coincidence of taking classes or joining a frat. My fiance agrees with me on this too. She studied psych, and to be a therapist, yes, you do need the credentials of certain degrees and whatnot, but she heavily also believes that you could just as easily teach yourself these things outside, and if not better, maybe even shadow people that are working in hospitals and whatnot. My brother decided to go the uncommon path according to the rest of his high school. He didn't go to college, he took a gap year, he studied, learned a little bit about photography in Florida, and now he moved to LA completely on his own to pursue and try to make it in the film industry and apprentice people and get to know people and study things outside of the college curriculum. He's not in college at all, but he's doing well. He has a job that he uses to support his financial situation, to pay rent, to buy food and all of that stuff. But then his real hustle is learning about film and learning about the film industry on his own and making calls to people and taking massive action towards potentially finding a career in that field. So think of it this way too. This is a really interesting thing to think about, all right? My fiance, my future wife, it cost her around $35,000 to get her 4-year degree. That's after applying for in-state tuition. That's 1 semester out of state. That's actually only 2 years. It's 2 years at the U, and then she paid her 2 years of community college already. Mine was around 50,000 because I was out of state like as soon as I graduated. I went to the U all 4 years. I didn't transfer. So imagine if you had enough money to pay for college, or even a fraction of that. Let's say you had $15,000, maybe even like 20,000, right? It could be 5,000, whatever. But let's say you were able to pay for college, right? Maybe you come from a background that your parents can't support you for that, right? Arbitrary number, $20,000 saved for college. Imagine if you just took like 4,000 or 5,000 and you invested that in an online business, maybe the stock market, maybe some online courses that taught you about marketing and making money. Some of that money can go towards rent, so you have the freedom to pursue something outside of a traditional education. Imagine if you had that money to use towards traveling the world to meet up with other photographers or other people in their respective industry instead of spending it on classes and checking boxes at a university. It's pretty exciting because you can do a lot with it. And if you know anything about online business, maybe affiliate marketing, something like that, you only need a couple $100 to start a website and start making money on Amazon or other affiliate programs. Like, being able to put that kind of money down towards a business or towards some real life tangible experience in your field is so much more valuable than sitting in a classroom and having to pay money just because professors need to put bread on the table. So that's just how I think of it. You know, if you have money to pay for college, but you're not sure if you can actually make it useful for yourself, then think about that money being invested towards like more deliberate action. Maybe like buying a bunch of books, reading books, applying books, maybe making some mistakes too. So that's my 2 cents to my old past self. If anybody can relate to this, if not, just call me crazy, disregard this video. If you have any other questions about like me, my experience, whatever, like just feel free to leave a comment and I'll do my best to respond. But thanks for watching.